This is an example of the new AI duplicate assembly functionality. This is useful when you have a subassembly that you want to leverage for use in a different application, such as a printed circuit board or maybe a testing module, where you want to keep the majority of it the same and keep those parts shared, but you have selected other parts that you want to copy or replace them with new components. I'll show you an example here. Here on the screen we have this assembly, and we have a subassembly here, this DC to DC board, and it has a bunch of components on it. This is a simplified version of it, of course, but we have 9 capacitors, for example, here. So we want to leverage this assembly and unshare a few of those components. So I'll start up the AI duplicate assembly functionality. I will double click on that board, and everything else besides that board gets grayed out in my structure browser here, and you can see we got a new view that has a column here called unshare, and then we can specify a new base name and a new model name. So the default here for this board that we're going to be duplicating, it's got a smart name already. We got board 1, board 2, and here our default name is board 3. So we'll just go ahead and use that, and then it's asking us to unshare specific objects. So we'll just use our structure browser here, and we'll just single click on these objects. Maybe we'll do 3 of these capacitors. So since there are 9, we're going to unshare 3 of them. Those will end up being shared with each other. Once I've highlighted everything that I want to unshare, I will right click and say apply selection. And now you can see that there's X's here for these that will be specifically unshared when we do our functionality here. And we could specify new names here. You notice that these both have A's for this is to be automatically unshared because they are part of shared subassemblies. And so we want to be able to keep this other assembly intact as it is. So this will be automatically unshared. We could come in and just click on this and edit it, and we would stop that from being unshared if we did that. But we'll go ahead and leave that so we can see how that works. Now I could come in here. I'm going to change the model names. We'll call this one New Assembly, and we'll call this New Module. We'll call this one New Board, and we'll call this here New Cap. And of course we could put in something else that had a real part number or something, but for purposes of this demonstration we'll just use these simple ones so they're easy to see. Now everything's ready to go. Notice I could also change the owner if I want, but I'll just say OK. And now when we look at it, you can see that our assemblies are now unshared up here at the top level. Our new one has the new model name that we had given it, New Assembly. As we look down here, we can see that our new module right here, DC to DC board 3, also has our new model name. Board 2 has its new model name, and it has been unshared. And notice that before, up here in board 2, we had 9 of these capacitors, and in board 3 we now have 6 because we unshared those 3. If we look down here under New Cap, we can see that there's those 3 capacitors that we had. So all of that is exactly the way we expected it to be. We did it all in one interface and one step, and it worked out perfectly. With the AI duplicate assembly functionality, it's that easy.